Hey there, my gorgeous friends on the internet. Today we have a really exciting episode. I know loads of you requested for a React portfolio project, so I made it. It's here today. So check this out, it looks really cool. And we're gonna be using Tailwind as well, which, boy, is really cool. If you don't know about it, you're gonna love it. You wanna add text color? Just say text color. BJ, you wish. BG red, boom, done, styled. I also want to thank Keelan John for providing me with a 3D render of myself. As you can see here, it looks really cool. So if you want to learn more about 3D and Blender and stuff like that, check out his channel down below. He's really awesome. And of course, if you're interested in supporting this channel and you're interested in upgrading your web development skills, there's courses down below on my website, developbyed.com. So if you want to learn a bit more React, a bit more JavaScript, it's going to be all down there. So click the link in the description, go over to Develop by Ed and check out the courses. Hello, hope you are ready to have some fun. I'm really excited for this one. I feel like Tailwind reignited all the funs and pleasures of React for me, because now it feels actually fun building out React projects. So I hope you're excited and let's get going. Okay, so we're gonna be using Next.js just because it has a couple of cool features in it and it's just super easy to get up and going. So what we need to do is start off with that. So to install it, we're gonna open up a new terminal. So you can do that with Control-tilde, or you can optionally go up here and hit New Terminal. And then we will look for Next.js. So let me drag the screen out here for you so you can see. So here it is. All right, this is our website right now. Cool, really pretty. And by the way, all the files will be provided in the GitHub down below. So if you want to get the images and everything, it'll all be there. Cool. So let's head over and search up Next.js. So the way you install it is if you go here to the first link, they have really nice documentation. Click on documentation. You run this command basically, npx create next app at latest. So we'll copy that over and head back to our code. Let's see, there we go. And paste that sucker in. And then we'll give it a name. So let's call this React Portfolio and let that install. Cool, so whilst that's up and running and getting all sorted, what we're gonna do is head over to Tailwind CSS. So that's the website. Let's pull it up here on the screen so we can close this up. And what Tailwind basically allows us to do is not write any CSS anymore. We basically have these small little classes that we can use all around our HTML code. All right, so little utility packs basically. So if we want to do like a display flex, you just add flex here. So you don't need to kind of jump around to your CSS, and it just makes it really easy. And it's mobile first as well. So it's really easy, you're gonna see, to create all the different media queries for it. So to get started with this, again, their documentation is just banging, really, really good. We need to run this command, npm install the Tailwind CSS. So let's copy that over. Let's head back to our code. There we go. Now let's go over actually inside our folder here. So let's go File, Open Folder, and we'll just open this React portfolio that we just made. So open that sucker up. Perfect. Reopen up the terminal and paste this Tailwind command inside. Perfect. So now that we have that inside, we need to basically generate a file. So npx Tailwind CSS init. And we do this because we can customize how we want our media query breakpoints, colors that we want to add, or fonts, custom fonts maybe we want to add. You can all do that here. So let's head back here to the code again, copy this over, and just run npm npx Tailwind CSS init. Cool. So after that's done, as you can see, we have this folder here, file called Tailwind config.js, and we're gonna mess around with this when we add our fonts and all of that good jazz. Cool. One more thing I want to do is actually copy over some of the basically the public folder that you're going to find on GitHub, because I added certain styles in here. So I'll just paste this. Oh, that made two publics. No, delete, delete. Okay, let me just copy over the files. Again, go over, get them. If you want to make your own pictures, feel free to do it, but I'm going to use these ones. So paste. Lovely. I think I have a copy here, but that's fine. Okay, lovely. We have everything up and going. Yeah, so now in our code, we can run npm run dev, which is going to open up a localhost 3000 for us. So if we go here to localhost 3000, you are going to see our wonderful website. There we go, Next.js. Cool. So now what I want to do is I'm going to actually put this window here. So I'm going to hold this down just so we can always see our code because we're going to optimize it mobile first anyway. Okay, so I'll just leave it open like that for us to see. Okay, so let's clean up this because we don't need these starter pictures or any of this crap. So let's head over to our index.js. I'm going to close this up for more space and then we will remove everything. So let's go here, footer, get rid of that. Basically, we'll just keep this div with the main tag in here. So get rid of everything else. So all the way here, get rid of that and hit save. We're also going to get rid of the styles main class, which uses Next.js modules. So we're not going to use that. So just get rid of that. Just keep it nice and simple like that. And we can rename this to Dimitri Marco Portfolio. And we're only going to work in one file. If you want to customize it and kind of break it down into multiple components, feel free to do that. But we're going to get rid of everything up here as well. There we go. And hit save. All right, we are pretty much, I think, almost ready to go. Oh, there's one more thing actually we need to do to get Tailwind up and working. We need to go here to our styles and go over to our global CSS. And let's just go down here. We can remove this media query. We don't need this because we'll use Tailwind to make our own. Let's go to the top like that and say at Tailwind base, at Tailwind components, and at Tailwind utilities. All right, this just adds all the necessary classes and utilities to make your Tailwind code work. Perfect. And there's also a font I have added here, which you can add using at font face, font family, and it's called Burtons. So let's add that. And the source for this is a URL that goes to /public/burtons.otf and hit save. Perfect. So we added our custom font as well. Now we cannot use it yet, but don't worry about it. I also should note that there is an awesome extension for Tailwind because without it, it's quite hard to kind of get things up and working. So let's expand this for now and search up Tailwind in here. Okay, so it's this one here, the first one, okay? So make sure you install this, and then you actually need to add something here. If we go down here, see, you want to get this autocomplete basically when you're typing your HTML classes. It pops up with all the functions and directives, and you get linting and everything, all that good jazz. So the way you add this is, I'll tell you in a bit because I forgot. So you do file association. This is the first one. You want to associate all the CSS files with Tailwind. I don't think we need this for now. We just want the formatting, but you can do all of these in here. I think this is the one, yeah, the strings. So basically when you add strings, it's going to give you the quick suggestions. So just go here to settings and then do editor.quick suggestions here. You can edit the JSON file, and you can basically add this. Oh, here we go. You can add this as well if you want to associate all the CSS files with Tailwind. And then here with the quick suggestions, you add strings to true. And that should be it. That should make everything work. Okay. All right, so we can close this up as well. And you're just going to see how speedy it is to kind of build everything out. Oh, another package before I get going. There's just packages everywhere. I want to add some icons. So we'll use React icons for that. So just quickly, let's do this before we start coding everything out. npmi React icons, like that, and hit enter. I promise, I think that should be it. So let's run this again and we are good to go. All right, so where should we start? Let's do a section with a navbar. So how would we do that in Tailwind? Well, let's start off with having a section in here. All right, so I'll do a section for each page. Let me switch this over to React. So I'll do a section here. So basically here, I want this to fill up the whole screen, okay? So we can add a class name to the section, like that. Let me make more space. And if I want to add the background color, I can do BG, like that. If you don't get the autocomplete here initially, add a space and then it pops up. As you can see, if I type BG, and you get all this auto-completion here ready to go. So if I just want to see something, let's add a blue. So BG blue, and this is basically like the saturation and intensity of it. So let's do 700 just so we can see. Now we don't have anything in this section, so nothing's going to show up. But if I want to add a max height to this, we can add height, and then I can do 20 if I want to, and that gives it height 20. But I want it to fill up the whole screen, so I can do H screen. Or if I want to do a minimum height, I can do min H screen as well, and hit save. Now nothing works yet because Tailwind doesn't know how to associate, like where should Tailwind be used in the first place. So we need to specify that in this config file here. So let's go over to Tailwind config, and this actually shows up in the documentation I can show you. So after you install it, you basically need to add it here. And there's actually a framework guide if you click here, and you can just choose Next.js. Oh, and you can also add actually the post CSS and auto prefixer as well to it. But we'll just copy over this whole config file here and just paste it back here. And that should do it. So let's go here, just remove everything and paste that in. Okay, hit save. And if we close up this tab now, well, you can see here, basically checks all the pages and components folders and everything that's JS, DS, or JSX. Basically your Tailwind's gonna work with it. All right, so let's restart. This might need to actually close up the terminal and reopen it for it to work. So let's go here and kill it and then reopen it. We should be good to go. Let's see, does it work? Shit. Let's run this command again because it might be that Next.js depends on the post CSS and auto prefixer. So let's just close this up. Here we go, and run npm install d Tailwind CSS, post CSS, and auto prefixer. There we go. Adds those packages. Let's run the init again. We should have just went actually to the next config. But yeah, everything else should be fine. That should save the same way. So hopefully we are good to go now and everything works. Let's do a refresh on this and run npm run dev. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, there we go, finally works. So we needed to add the auto prefixer and post CSS. That's all fine and dandy, didn't take too long. All right, cool. So now that everything is set up, we can start coding this out. So as you can see, that works nicely. We just add a min H screen and we have a full screen. I'm gonna remove this. I don't wanna keep the background for now. Cool, so now I wanna have a nav in here. So we just type nav. All right, and in this nav, I wanna have a H1, which is the title. So I can say developed by Ed. And then after this, we'll have a UL, like that. And here we'll have a dark mode. So an li. Well, we add a dark mode icon, and then we'll also have a resume button. So let's do another li with an a tag. It's not gonna take you anywhere. You can do your LinkedIn or whatnot, but I'm gonna say resume. Okay, cool. So that's it. And let's add the icon here. So we can use that using the React icons package that we installed. So let's go here at the top, at the import, and we'll say BS fill moon stars fill. Long ass name they picked, goodness sakes. React icons BS. All right, that's how we import it. So now we can just use it down here. So in this li, we can use it kind of like a component and paste it in like that. And there it is, cool. So that's our nav, and let's style this up. So let's see how that would work. So what if I want to add padding on top and bottom? Well, we can go here and add a class name and say padding y 10. And that's it, adds padding y top and bottom. If I want padding everywhere, and as you can see, if you hover over it, you can see the rem units that it picks. If I want to add it everywhere, you just do p like that. And then you can do p bottom, p top, etc, etc. So we'll do py10 just for top and bottom. Okay, all right. Let's do a MB12. So that's going to be a margin bottom of 12 for our next section to come in. And then I can add a display flex just by saying flex, a justify in between, so justify between, and that's it. And done. Look how quickly we just kind of positioned everything where we want it to. That's what I love about this. Quick and easy. Let's go to the main section here because I want to add the padding to everything. So we can do class name. I want to make sure the background is white, so we can use bg white, px of 10. So that's again left and right. It adds 2.5 rem. And yeah, that's it for now. Look at that. So now I can do the same on the UL if I want to. Class name, I want this to be flex, so they all go one next to each other, and items center. Boom, done. Quick and easy. Let's go on the H1, customize this even more. I can add a text, so this is how you do font size basically. You add a class name of text, and then you have medium, so MD, SM for small. You have large, LG, extra large, and then 2XL for something even bigger. That's quite big, so we'll do just XL, text XL. Wonderful. And then we'll do on the resume. Let's do on this one as well, the actual icon class name. We'll say cursor pointer, and then text to XL. Look at that, nice and big. Let's go over to the A tag here, and we'll add a class name. Let's do, so if you want a colored one, you can do something like BG Cyan 500. See, that's pretty cool. And I'll show you how you can add a gradient as well. But first, let's add some padding to it. So we'll do text white, like that, then px4 for some padding. Hit save, there you go. py2, top and bottom that is. We can remove the border by saying border none. I don't think I had the border, so what am I talking about? Let's get rid of that. We can round it if we want to by using rounded. And then here you have medium, large, kind of the same properties as well. So it's quite easy to pick them up. And then let's do ML8, all right, just to give some space between these two. Lovely. So how do I do a gradient then? Well, what we can do is just say at the beginning here, whoops, we can say BG gradient 2, and then you have right, top right, bottom right, all of that jazz. So we'll just say R to right. And then for the colors here you do from BG. You don't need to say BG again. So you can just say from cyan 500 to like teal 500. And look at that, boom, instant gradient activate. See how fast we made a nav? And once you learn these, because there's not too many, so a lot of people are like, fuck me, I have to learn all the damn utility classes. To be honest, it's like mostly paddings and background colors and spacing that you use, which is flex, which are quite easy to remember because it's literally the same thing. So don't be like intimidated by it because like, oh, I need to look it up. But if you forget one thing, it's so easy to go here to the Tailwind and just search it up here and it's gonna give you instantly what you're looking for. So yeah, it's not bad at all. So there we go, that's essentially our nav done. We'll just customize this font. Oh yeah, that's how you can customize stuff as well. We can go here to the Tailwind config, and in this theme you can extend stuff. So if you want to add your own personal colors, you can do that. If you want to add your own personal fonts, you can do that. So for now, let's just extend and do a font family. So we can do font family, and for this one we'll add the Burtons. All we just need to say is Burtons in here, like that. I hit save. Okay, cool. So that's it. So we can go back here and it's gonna basically be recognized as Burtons. So if we head over to the H1 here, we can add font. And as you can see, if I type, look, Burtons shows up. So I can click that and boom, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, done. Let's head down after the nav section and create our gorgeous front page here. So we'll add another div. And as you can see, another advantage is I have to think of inventing damn class names. Inner section, div, inner, hero, bureau, bleh. How horrible is that? I'm really bad at that, so this is a blessing. So let's add a H2 here with the name, Dimitri Marco. Hit save, that's the name. We'll add a H3 saying developer and designer. Hit save. We'll add a P tag as well. And then here, I'll just copy some text over. Feel free to add anything that you want. Let's paste that in there as well. And there we go, that's our text. And then we'll have some buttons as well. So after this div here, we'll add another div, and here we'll just import a couple of icons. So import, we'll do AI, fill, Twitter, circle, and then we'll do AI, fill, LinkedIn, and AI, fill, YouTube from React Icons AI. Okay, let's use these down here. So in this div, again, these can be an anchor tags if you actually want to link people over. So let's do the Twitter one. So that shows up, that's great. Then we can do AI fill LinkedIn. Cool. And AI fill YouTube. Done. We have all three. Perfect. Okay. So besides that, we'll have the wonderful image from Keelan that we'll also add down here. But let's do that after. And just keep it like this so it doesn't get overly complicated. Okay, so find the section here with the div that contains Dimitri Marco. And we'll just add basically a class name of text center to this. Text center. We'll add a PI, PY of 10. Now let's do a P10. Add the padding everywhere. My Safari, not Safari, my Siri keeps popping up. Okay, goodbye Siri. There we go, a P of 10. And then we'll do a PY of 10 as well. That is redundant actually, I'll just keep it like that. Okay, cool. Let's go on the H2. We'll add a class name of text5xl, really big, like that. And then a PY of 2, just to space it out a little bit. We'll add a text teal of 600 to it. That looks quite nice. We'll do a font medium. There we go. That looks good. Yeah, that should probably be it for that. We can go to the H3. Class name, text, to Excel on this, and a py of 2. See, I'm telling you, it's really quick once you get used to the little utility classes. Now for the paragraph, and then you can just copy paste this over and over so you stay consistent with your designs. Text, let's do text medium for this, not too big. Py of 5, space that out. Leading 8, this basically gives line height space. So if you look at the space here, poof, see? That's leading 8. And then we'll do a text gray on this of like 800. Cool. So I think that should be it for this. Let's get these icons sorted. So go down here. All we need to do is say class name text5xl. So make these logos much bigger. We'll add flex, justify center. There we go. And then we'll add a gap for them, like 16, to space them out. Done. Let's add a padding Y of 3 as well, to bring it even more down. And a text gray 600, so it's not that black. Perfect. Okay, so that's done already. Now we can go down here and add our nice, lovely 3D image by Keelan. So div. And add a class name of, let's see, let's add the image as well. So we'll import actually the image component from next image, which allows us to kind of customize our images and optimize them. And then let's import dev add from // public / dev add wave.png it's called. Okay, so let's go down here. So in this div now, we'll have an image tag like that. Let's see where I am. I lost myself. Okay, here we go. We'll add a source of equal dev add. There it is, lovely. And then we can add a layout of fill to this as well, so it takes up all the space. Now if this behaves like that, don't worry, we'll fix it. Actually, let me remove it for now, because it's going to just fill up the whole space. But we'll add a class of relative to this, like that. Let's just remove it for now so we can see it. Okay, let's just go back to the container because I want to add a nice circle over it. So what we can do is say bg gradient. I want it to bottom, like that, from teal 500. We'll reuse this so it fades out to white. I think that looks quite cool. Then we'll add a rounded and say full. So that makes it a perfect circle. It's not a perfect circle now, but it will be soon. So all we need to do to get a perfect circle, this is basically adding border radius 50% on it, right? So you just set the width and the height to the same. So width 80, height 80. That's safe. And look at that, boom, perfect circle. Lovely. What else do we need to do here? I want to push this down a bit, so I'll add a margin top of 20. There we go, push it down a bit. And I want to center it as well, so we can go here and say MX auto, like that. So that's basically margin X. It does auto, so it's going to center it automatically for you. All right, that's looking pretty nice and tasty for me. What I want to do is fill it up now, so it's a bit bigger. So we can do layout, fill here. Now this is next specific, these little properties that we're using here. And then we'll do object fit of cover, which should fill it all the way up nicely. Now it cuts a bit down there, so what I want to do is, like, anything outside of the circle should be cut off. So we can do overflow hidden on this, like that. Boom, done. Front page activate, we finished it. How cool is that? It was quite fast, wasn't it? All right, so that's pretty much it for this section. We can move on to the next. So let's go down here and just say, how do you do? How do you do the comment? I barely do it in HTML. I actually never do it. I'll just do it like this. I always forget to do it, how to do it. That's not the one. Oh, actually we're in JSX, so probably need to use that. Whatever. All right, second page here. I'm terrible at this. Okay, section 2. We'll make a div. And in this div, we'll have like a nice text. So we'll do a h3 that says services I offer. Okay. Let's see it. It's down there. We'll just increase it. Class name, we'll do text3xl py1. Nice. Then we'll do a p tag down here. This one will be, let me copy it over, just some text like that. Okay, cool. There it is. So for this one, we will add a class name of textmd, pyf2, leading of 8. You can basically copy paste everything from this one up here, to be honest. So all the class names, text gray 800, I believe we used. Let me make sure it's quite the same, actually. Actually, it's 600. No, it's not, 800. Okay, cool. And that's it. So next up, what we can do, actually, this is like this. Let me show you kind of what I did with this paragraph. I'll copy paste it over. There we go. I'll remove this because I'll show you the dark mode later on. So I added a bunch of text in here, and like things I wanted to highlight, I just wrapped a span around them and added a text style of 500, and that's it. Agencies, see, it's wrapped with a span. Startups wrapped with a span. So that's it. Makes it look really nice. And then basically the same thing. I added another section here. I'll just copy paste it over because it's literally the same, as you can see, just with more text. Cool. So more text, more text, more text. So that's done. Now we can actually add our card system. So we'll make a div. So after this div here, let's go down here, make a div, and let's add another div in here, and we're gonna have an image. So this is basically the card system. So we want the image on top. We'll say source. Actually, I need to import these. So let's go to the top. And the way you import all of these are import design from /public/design.png. And then we can duplicate this 2 more times with Shift and Option. And then we'll just change this to code. And this one to consulting, like that. And then here we'll change this to code, and this one to consulting. And that should work fine. It doesn't. Oh, it's giving error here at the source. So that's okay. We can go down here to the source. Really easy this is gonna be. So, where am I? I'm lost. Let's do design first. Okay, so let's see if that works. So there we go. It's like a design 3D element that I found on the internets. And we'll just make it smaller here. Again, we can use kind of the image components properties here by adding the width. We can just do 100 and then height 100, and that should be all nice and dandy. Cool, we have our image, and then we'll have a h3. So this is gonna be called Beautiful Designs. There we go. And then we'll add a paragraph. I'll just copy some text over, something like creating elegant designs suited for your needs, following core design theory. Perfect. So that's our text. And then what I did was essentially added a H4 down here saying design tools I use, like that. And then just a bunch of P tags. So we can do Photoshop, maybe copy 2 more of these over, Illustrator, Figma. Yeah, make sure you can add as many as you want, customize it the way you want. But there we go, I'll just add 3 for now. What if I want to add a class name to multiple one of these? I don't want to go through each individual one. Well, what you can do is hold the button, not that button, the button option. And as you can see, I can click, boop, boop, like that, and then I can start editing like that. Or you can do option and command and then do the arrows up and down, and that works as well. So boop, boop, and then we can add class name. And I'll just do text gray 800 and a py of 1. Boom. Gave space in between those. Let's go to the H4. We'll add a class name of py4 and a text teal of 600. There it is. We'll go to this p tag and add a class name of py2 just for some spacing. And then on this big one, we'll add a class name of text large, font medium, a pt of 8, and a pb of 2. So padding top 8, padding bottom 2. All right, and there we go. That's our little card system there. Well, it's not done yet. It doesn't look like a card. It looks like shite, but we can fix it by going to the big div and add a text center. There we go. We can do a shadow of large. There we go. So now we can actually see the card. A padding of 10, just so it looks like the items are in the card. We'll round the corners, rounded, XL, and we'll do a margin Y of 10 to push it down a bit. So there we go, we have a nice bit of shadow as well going there. Okay, so now that this is done, I think we are ready to pretty much duplicate this and copy paste everything. So this div here, right? This whole thing with the text shadow large. All right, make sure you click on here and we can basically just copy this twice. So down here, paste, paste, boom. Now we have 3 cards, all done. All we need to do is change the pictures and some of the text if you want. So let's go here, we'll change this to code. All right, there we go. And then we'll change this one to consulting. Again, feel free to change the text here if you want, but that's our card system all up and ready. Look how much we've done, by the way. So nice. Okay, we're pretty much on our last section here, and then we can add dark mode and optimize it for other screens, which is going to be really easy. Section, activate. We'll add a div in here. We'll add a H3. It's going to say portfolio. And again, we can pretty much just copy over kind of like the services offer here. So text 3XL, right, with the padding as well. So we can just take this and literally paste it down there. Boop, boop. Look at that, done. Easy. Same thing we can do with this text, right? Kind of like the text that we add here. You can either copy paste this. I think we're just gonna copy paste this over. Let me see how I did it here because I forgot. I think I just modified the text. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much copy pasted this over, and then you can modify that. So that should be good. And let's see what else we need to do. So after this, oh yeah, we have a bunch of images basically that we can add, and that's it. So let's go up here to the top and import them. Really nice, really easy. We can say import. I named them nicely for you, so it's not difficult to do. Public web1 slash .png. So that should be 1. And then we can duplicate this 5 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we can change this to web 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then same thing here, 2, 3, 4. Look at the autocomplete pops up right where I want to click. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Okay, so we have all those imported as well. We can scroll down here to our last section. I'm lost. Help me. Please help me. I'm lost. Okay, there we go. So that's the div for that. And then we'll do a div, like an all-around div, and then a div for the images. So div, and each of these divs will have the image. Image, like that. Cool. And we'll add a source of web1 to this. Okay? Fantastic. So now this can be duplicated basically like 5 more times. But before we do that, I actually want to kind of style stuff up. So I guess we need to do it so we can see what's going on. Let's do 2 more here for now. Web 2, Web 3. Okay. Actually, we can do the selection anyway. So 4, 5, 6. Web 4, 5, 6. Save. Look at that. All of them are there. Perfect. Yeah, let's just stop there and then we'll optimize it for mobile anyway. So let's go back to the top and do that. So by default, again, how Tailwind works is it prioritizes mobile. So any breakpoints you add here in your, because you can specify like on medium screens, I want the text aligned to center, for example, okay? So by default, it's gonna do everything else here, like the default properties you added. But if it gets to a medium screen, then it's gonna apply this, all right? So it's working from mobile upwards. Yeah, so let's see what we need to add basically here. So let's head back to the top. It's only a couple and you're gonna see it just magically works. You don't even need to do that much. Okay, let's do this. So we'll do MD. So on medium screens, I want the PX to be 20. All right, so the padding. So if we go bigger, 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 boom, see? Poof, the padding kicks in. Cool. I can do the same with large screens as well. So padding on large screens should be like 40. Doop, doof. Awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Really nice and easy. So let's see where else we need to add stuff. Let's do it here, right? Let's increase the size of these texts. So we'll do medium screen. Let's go here down to the Dimitri Marco here at the end. I like to also add them at the end, so it's very easy to see kind of where your breakpoints apply. So we'll do like 6XL here for the text. Oof. See? So let's do on this one, we'll do MD text 3XL. We'll go on the paragraphs and we'll do MD text. What should we do? Let's do XL for this one. Poof. See, that looks pretty good. Nice. Oh yeah, the thing I don't like now is, see if I drag this out, look, the paragraph is just one line and it looks quite funny. I like it like that, where it's like 2, 3 lines. So what we can do for that is basically just put a max width to it. So we can say max width should be XL. So don't let it grow any bigger than that. And look, it gets stuck on that size. So as soon as it reaches that max width, it stops. So now we can just add a MX auto to it and it's going to keep it nice and centered. So MX auto, save. Ha, pretty cool trick. Maybe I like it large a bit better, so it's like 3 lines. That doesn't make it 3 lines, that's fine. That looks good anyway. Okay, that should be good to go. I'm happy with that. The links here are fine, to be honest. That looks good to me. Let's see what else we should do. Maybe increase the size of this image here. So let's go over to image here. To this div, go to the end and do MD. Just change the height to 96 and then the MD width to 96 as well. Poof, see, it got bigger, boop, boop. That's pretty cool. Lovely. Maybe it's a bit pushed to the top, maybe. No, that's all right, I like the way that looks. Okay, so that's done. What else do we need to do? Let's see, this section here. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do the cards because the cards look absolutely awful. So let's go down here to where we have our card system. So let's search for beautiful designs. Here we go. So this is our card system. So let's go on the container here and we'll say class name. So let's say on large screens, I want it to be displayed flex with a gap of 10 and hit save. Boom! Instant awesome web design activate. Look how cool that is. Perfect. So that's pretty much it there then. We don't need to do anything else. Let's see that again. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Optionally, maybe if your text size is different, you can add a flex 1 to each of these containers, but that's pretty much it. Let's go down. Let's see what else we need to change. I think it might just be the last section here, the portfolio section. So I want to make this so it's like a 2-column layout. So as soon as we get big here, I want them to be 2, 2, 2, 2 on each size. So let's head down here. All right, so get to this section and we'll basically go to this upper div here, add a class name, and we'll say flex column. All right, so nothing changes now. Add a gap of 10 in between them for spacing. There we go. A PY of 10. And then on large screens, I'll do flex row. So they go horizontally next to each other. And then a large screen, we'll wrap them. So flex wrap. Okay, so if we go now big, boo, 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 nothing's gonna happen yet, which is fine. So we'll go down to each of these individual images. So let's actually go to the divs first. So click on the div here and then holding option, again, you can click and just select the entry points here to each of these divs. Okay, and then add a space, we'll say class name. And all we need to do is add a basis of 1, 2. So if you do 1, 2, basically it's 50%. You're saying basically give this element 50% width, like that's the basis of it. If it gets any smaller than that, wrap the content around. So it basically falls down. But I think that we have gaps and margins. I switched it to 1-3, so basically like 33%. Again, we're doing this so we can always have two images, one next to each other. And if there's more, basically, yeah, you basically make it so it's always two on the screen. And then we'll do flex 1, which is going to basically fill up all the available space. Now you cannot see anything now, which is fine, but you'll see it now when I go down here to the image. So let's go down to the image, and all of them, right, add a class name, and we'll say rounded, large. There we go. And then an object of cover. So that's going to basically fill in the whole div section. All right, and then outside here, we can specify a width of 100%. Make sure you add, you can do this in class names as well in here, but I'll just use Next.js's default properties here. Height 100%, so we're just making sure it's always filled up to 100%. Okay, and then we'll add a layout of responsive to this. Now it's a bit tricky here to do it, to be honest, because it's with next image and it works a bit different. But look at that. There we go. So as you can see, since we added the flex spaces of 1.3, see if I add 1, 2, I guess it kind of works. This gets a bit cut off in a funny way, but 1, 3 seems to fill it up all nicely and make it all equal. Right, if I want to have 1, let's see here. So 1 does how much here? Oh, it's only gonna do 0.25 rem. Okay, so you have to do like 50%. You'll do it like that. And then this is 33%. Okay, anyway, it's fully reactive now. Cool. Perfect. So that's pretty much done for our styling and optimizing it. What we need to do is add dark mode. So let's see how simple that is. Let's go to the top here, and we'll just need to import useState from React. So import useState from React. Perfect. So now we can go down here and say const dark mode, set dark mode. And by default, let's set it to false. useState false. Now by default, the way it works in Tailwind is it's going to check like the system preferences in the Chrome browser. So it's going to switch according to that. So if you have it on dark mode, it's going to switch to dark mode. But what we want to do is do a toggle here. So for that, we need to change something in the Tailwind config file. It's really simple. You just need to go here and basically here in the module exports, you just say, hey, I want to be able to do dark mode based on a class. All right, so I can switch it with a class. So now all we need to do is add a class name to our entire app. So I can go here, it's class name, we'll do curly brackets, we'll see dark mode, question mark, dark, else, nothing. All right, so basically, if dark mode is true, then add the dark class. If it's not true, then remove it. That's all this line does. And now we want to add it to the button, so basically it triggers, it like does a toggle. So on here, we can do an onClick, and set that equal to an arrow function. And we can just say set dark mode to the reverse of whatever dark mode is now. All right, so you just add an exclamation mark dark mode, and then it always toggles it from true to false to true to false. So if I click on this now, nothing happens. Why? Well, we don't have any styling added to make it dark mode, but that's really easy to do. So there we go. All we needed to do is just add a state right here, add the class name of dark mode to toggle, and then we'd go to each individual element and change it here by adding dark BG gray. So now if we hit on it, boom, easy, done. just like that. And then now, again, this is a challenge. I'll let you do it. The finished code will be online. You can check it out. But I challenge you to just go and try to do it by yourself and optimize this for dark mode. Really easy. It's not hard at all. If I just go here and say class name, let's say, let's go on this card actually here. So here we go. These are all the individual cards. I can add a dark and say BG white on this, right? And then hit save and boom. All right. So that's dark mode ready now. So you can do this with the text and everything. You can just basically copy paste this over and you are good to go. So let me just copy paste this for now just to show you an example. But yeah, you can customize everything tons. I wanted to put this balloon like that so it kind of looks like a tail. So then when I pop it, it's like, oh, did you feel the wind out of my tail? But it's not sticking. Goodbye. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this project. Again, it's going to be on the GitHub. Download it, customize it to your own needs, post it as a project for your website. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more, and I have a really good episode from last week where we build out a really nice website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I highly recommend you check that out as well.